What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premier League Unpacked, and we're here with the gang. Bish, Patrick, and James Goonerly will potentially be joining us later. He's just running a little bit late as well. I do apologise for starting the show later than originally scheduled, but you know, shit happens, and sometimes you just got to go with it, folks. But today we're going to be doing Premier League predictions. We're going to be talking about the top 8, the Golden Glove, top goal scorer, manager of the year, and we're going to dive into it pretty much straight away. But I think we just have to quickly touch on the curtain raiser. First of all, Arsenal Community Shield champions. What you telling me, guys? What you telling me? First piece of silverware is in the bag.
I thought we were going to leave that.
Go on, Bish. I want to get your thoughts on it first, man. Are you feeling all right about the game, or what?
You know what's funny, innit? Before the game, I just thought, like, I don't care about this. It's a nothing game. And then the game gets going, and I still didn't care about it. And we're 1-0 up, and I still didn't care about it. And then all of a sudden, we're penalties, and Arsenal are about to win it. And I really cared and felt really angry about the whole situation. And Pep looked pretty angry as well. It was, it was a bit of a flop from City to let go of that lead. And I think Pep looks like he's in a mentality of he just wants to win anything silver. It doesn't even matter if it's silverware or just silver, anything, he just wants to win. So that's disappointing. But last year we lost the Community Shield to Liverpool and ended up finishing about 40 points clear of them. So I'm reading too much into it. But it was a decent game. I thought for the most part we were pretty even. Arsenal had the better chances early on. You know, we kind of grew into the game. But, you know, disappointing in the end, to be honest with you. More disappointing than I thought it would be.
Do you know what? I'm just bartering it. We know what it is, and it is only the Community Shield. There's nothing major. Obviously, some people might say it's better than the Carabao Cup because you get more money. I don't know what people say, but all I know is for me, and I think for most Arsenal fans, it's just getting over the hoodoo of beating Man City, getting over the line, for the mentality to know, you know what, if we are going to try to challenge this year, we're going to have to try to beat them. And I think, even though it's on penalties and we didn't win in the full 90 minutes, the way it kind of happened with getting the equaliser at the end and then 4-1 on penalties, I think it'll only breathe confidence. And I believe Aaron Ramsdale said that himself as well. You get me? But James, did you watch the game, or was you watching Manchester United?
I watched both, mate. I watched both. I watched us obviously playing over in Dublin, and I watched you guys. Congratulations on winning the second bit of major silverware this season after Tottenham won the Tiger Cup. So they're both about privilege, to be honest. I don't really rate any of them, but if you're classing it a major trophy like some of you are, then major trophy it is. But the team that have won the Community Shield have won the league 1 out of the last 10 years, and that was City themselves. So I won't get too gassed, but fair enough. I watched the game. I thought it was pretty balanced, to be honest. I did think City edged it. I thought they were the better team. But saying that, I thought Arsenal defensively are very, very solid with Saliba. I think that back five looks pretty damn good. I still think you've got a bit to sort out in midfield, although Partey, Rice and Odegaard works better than Rice, Odegaard and Havertz does, that's for sure. So they look good. They looked improved, and they're definitely going to be in contention for the title this year. And I think that's something we're going to come on to in a bit with our predictions. But it was a good game. Congratulations to Arsenal. In the grand scheme of things, we all know it means nothing, but nice day out for them.
All right. Sent a bit of
salt. You shouldn't have even been there. It's like Liverpool when they won the Champions League. This
is what I'm saying.
Champions to get in it, were they?
This is what I'm saying. If people respected the Carabao Cup enough, honestly, in my opinion, I would have probably put United there. Really, they should have been in the Community Shield because of obviously they won one of the only cups that was knocking around in England. But it looks like no one respects that competition enough, man. But Patty, I know if yous man won it, yous would have had an open bus parade as well. You get me, bro? That would have been a big trophy for yous. Harry Kane that City would have accomplished life at Tottenham, man. But did you watch the game? What did you think of Yuri and Timber? Tell me what you think about Timber, fam.
To be fair, I mean, because Tottenham, we played Shakhtar Donetsk at White Hart Lane, and that kicked off at 2:00. So I was at our game, and then I came home and I caught the second half. And when it finished, I was like, you know what, fair enough. We won a pre-season friendly yesterday, and so did Arsenal. That's how I felt about it. That was pretty much it. I was like, fair.
You know,
what I mean?
if these man won, you're going to come in here with a T-shirt printed winners. You get me? 2023,
Shameless.
2024.
Shameless SC, you know what it is.
It's like fair, isn't it? Both North London clubs doing bits, both winning their games. It's yeah, nah. But all jokes aside, of course, you didn't win. You beat them on penalties, so that's one thing. And
So
secondly,
we did win, then, didn't we?
you didn't beat them in 90 minutes. It's not like so, you know. But yeah, I said it yesterday on Twitter, and a few people tried to jump on me. But I was like, for me, Man United should have been in it because they actually won some silverware. Arsenal were there by default, and I think they should change that, to be fair, because if the same team wins the league and wins the FA Cup, they need to kind of change those rules. But anyway, I digress. You're there, you know, on merit or invitation or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, second half you look good in terms of defensively. Didn't really create much. I know I missed the chances in the first half where Havertz had a few good chances and obviously didn't take them. Yeah, Timber looks good, man. Defensively, you look like you pretty much are set. Probably one of the best defenses in the league now, if everyone's fit and things continue the way they're going. Saliba looks really good. I'm not sure about your midfield at the moment. I know you got essentially two enforcers in there, in Rice and Partey. I'm not sure if that's enough creativity going forward for, you know, week after week or game after game. That might change if Rice becomes a box-to-box kind of, you know, 8/6. You can chip in with more goals and assists. But I'm not sure on that midfield right now, if I'm being honest. But it's early days, isn't it? It's pretty much the first game of the season.
You know what? I think it's going to take him a little bit of time to settle with Partey and understand the role that they have to play. But I think all in all, the first 20 minutes, City were dominant, had the ball. They didn't really create much, but they were very dominant in the game. 25 minutes to half time, Arsenal were fully in control, had the best of the opportunities, knocking the ball around, Odegaard looking like a little magician. And then second half, I'd say City got back into it, and then we were kind of trying to hit him on the counter. And then we managed to get our goal, but we've got Big Lee here now as well. We'll finish off with you as you've just come in as well to the show. Welcome. Arsenal, Manchester City, give you quick thoughts around the game before we move on.
Honestly, look, I don't want to talk about anything other than I just feel like Arsenal raised their level a little bit. Like that was a quality chess match yesterday. I think the way that Arsenal took the game to Man City at times, and the way that Man City took, we showed that we belonged. I don't believe we deserve to be in the game because I don't feel like, you know, Arsenal should have actually had that opportunity. I think it should have gone to Man United, if I'm honest with you. But I genuinely do believe, hand on my heart, that we put in a better performance than what Man United would have put in. And I genuinely believe, and I know Man United are good against Man City in terms of counter-attack. I do think that we showed we're here, and we can come with the big boys now. And listen, it's one game. But you saw little intricacies yesterday where you're like, you know what? You don't want to take too much from it. You don't want to go too far. But yeah, like we looked good. We looked good, especially from the, you know, after the first 15 minutes in the first half. I think we looked good. And yeah, it's nice to finally do something over Man City. We didn't beat them, but we showed that we can hang with the big boys, you know. I think, and that's the thing that I was quite happy about. So yeah, listen, man, I'm excited about the season. I'm definitely excited about what we can offer. And yeah, man, like, let's get the season cracking now, man.
Say no more. I don't know, Lee, but I'm going with the win. I'm going with we won that game. You know what I mean? I'd take it any means necessary, bro. We've been getting slumped by Man City for years now. You get
listen, I'm gonna watch back and hear what Bish said, innit? I don't want to regurgitate it and stuff. I'm gonna see what James said. I know James is he's definitely the biggest hater I've ever seen. Him and Saeed, I don't know. And I definitely, when we get into your team, I've definitely got to question you about a few things you were saying the other day. Because, mate, I don't know, James. I don't know. Did someone hit you around with a dumbbell around your head or something? I don't know, mate. But yeah,
anyway. Bring it on, mate. Bring it on.
But no, listen. Anyway, I do want to see what you guys said earlier. But I'll go back and watch the show in a bit. But I make sure everyone's smashing the like. So, but yeah, for sure, I'm very, very happy with what I saw. Yeah, there was a lot that I can take in a positive from that.
Say no more. But what we're going to do now is, obviously, we're going to give our predictions for the upcoming season because it's round the corner. Next week, it all kicks off. And I think it's only right. We have to give, each and every single one of us will have to give our top 8. So that's from first position to 8th position. And then after that, we'll try to do a little bit of a combined Premier League unpacked first to 8th and try to agree on some of it. Might disagree on some, but I think it's only right. But let's get Bish in there first before you end up choking out on us again.
I know I keep getting jumped out of the stream. We had a bit of a drama today. My laptop's gone walkies on my first visit back to Manchester. So
I don't be trying to slag the city off.
Not having that at all.
I told you, Bish, mate. Come down south, bro.
Yeah, I need to stay down south. That's the problem.
You would have got your laptop stabbed down there, fam.
Listen.
You know what I think it is? I think it's because I didn't check in. I didn't check in with Premsy when I first landed. Didn't check in with the right people. But yeah, so if I drop out, apologies, people. Yeah, I'm guessing you just said, Premsy, about the 1 to 8. Yeah. Do you want me to run through my 1 to 8?
Yeah.
I wrote down on a piece of paper 3 different 1 to 8s, but I think I'm gonna go back to my original one, which was City first, Arsenal second, Liverpool third, United fourth, Chelsea fifth, Tottenham sixth, Villa seventh, and Newcastle eighth. I've interchanged Newcastle and Villa. Actually, let me put Newcastle above it. No, let me keep it as it is. Villa above Newcastle. Yeah, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Villa, Newcastle.
Say no more. Patrick,
Brighton got sacrificed.
Okay, so I've gone Man City first, Arsenal second, Liverpool third, Man United fourth, Newcastle fifth, Chelsea sixth, Villa seventh, Brighton eighth, Spurs ninth, Brentford 10th. So I've gone 10.
You gone 10? Say no, boy. The man had to go to 10 to squeeze.
Make sure his team is in there somewhere.
Man had to squeeze 10 in. Go on there, James. Give us yours.
I've got to do it from memory because I've not written it down. But Man City first, Arsenal second, United third, Chelsea fourth, Villa fifth, Liverpool sixth.
Wow.
Oh, look.
Jeez.
Newcastle seventh and Spurs eighth.
To be fair, there's a few little wild cards in there. But
I'm just gonna write that down so I've got it in front of me.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, that's mad.
Liverpool. If there's anyone in the comments that wants to type them up for us, we appreciate it.
Feel free.
Man United. Who did you have at fifth after Chelsea? You had Newcastle fifth, didn't you? Liverpool sixth. Oh, no,
Chelsea.
Chelsea, then Newcastle, then Liverpool, then Villa, then Tottenham, was it?
No, Villa fifth, Liverpool sixth, Newcastle seventh, Spurs eighth.
Okay. Newcastle seventh, Spurs eighth. Wicked.
Go on, Goons. Go on.
I tell you what.
Oh, sorry, brother.
I honestly have to say this is probably one of the hardest predictions that I've done. I think there's so many moving parts with. I trust Newcastle, but I don't know whether the Man United side that the Champions League is going to have an impact. Yeah. I think Man United should be a lot better, and I want to put a bit of pressure on them because they've spent £400 million in 12 months. So I feel like they need to be up there in some respect, but I just don't trust they've got enough goals. But I'm going to go Arsenal. I'll go Arsenal first. I'm going to go City second. I'm going to go United third. For some strange reason, I'm going to go United third. And then I'm going to go Liverpool fourth. And the reason why I'm going to go Liverpool fourth is because currently, I feel like their midfield is absolutely horrible. I just don't know. There's something
doesn't even exist.
Yeah. Now, many people are writing off Spurs, and I said it, and I've been saying it. I think Spurs are going to have a really good season, and they were close to being fourth, but I think they're going to pick Chelsea to fifth. And I think Chelsea are going to have a season what we had when we actually finished fifth. We had a really good season, but we just didn't have enough, and they've got too many young players. So I'll put Spurs fifth. I'll put Chelsea sixth.
Yeah.
And then I'll put Villa. I don't trust Brighton. I don't think they've got enough goals. And I feel like the season's going to unravel for them some way. I think if they lose Caicedo as well, I think De Zerbi, he's been chatting a bag of shit about, Caicedo acting like he's the Billy Big Bollocks all of a sudden. I'm like, bro, calm down. Like, just calm down a bit and remember who you are, and then come back with a chest a bit later. So that's gonna be my top. I think
So you got Brighton 8th then, Lee. You got them 8th, yeah?
I've
Just
got
that.
Brighton 8th.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Brighton 8th,
Nice
yeah.
one.
I don't know, but it sounded like Gurner Lee's been doing too many gym sessions with Tapping Toby, and he's got a new Spurs buddy. Man, I'm telling you,
No,
what's
listen,
going on
man.
here, fam.
Listen, I'm telling you, man.
This ain't the Lee we know.
I'm telling you, listen, you see the thing about Spurs where I can't custom is I feel like they're buying non-branded names, but so did Arsenal when we bought Ben White and when we bought Ramsdale and when we bought bloody like Tomiyasu and all those players. I'm not looking at the names. I'm looking at what this manager can do with the squad. And I feel like they're going to be a lot better than what people are giving them credit for. I'm not saying they're going to be amazing. I'm not saying they're going to pull up trees. And listen, Kane looks like to be staying. I really thought he was going to stay all along. I kept saying it. And I think when you've got guaranteed 35 goals in a team straight away, you think about it, most top teams, Man City score 100 goals, 112 goals in a season. If you're getting 35 goals from one player or 30 goals from one player, you're onto a winner. Son, he can get you another 15. You got Kulu, come back, get you another 12. You've got Richarlison, who'll get you none. And then, you move forward, you move around. So I feel like they can only be better than what they were last season because they were absolute dog shit. So, yeah.
Say no more. Patrick, quick question for you there from Lee.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer that? Would you keep Spurs that low if you think Kane stays in the team?
I think Kane's staying anyway. I said it to you guys all along. But yeah, listen, we're flying under the radar this year. That's why I put us where I put us. New manager.
Yeah, we're not allowed to do that as well. We're not allowing you to do that.
Defense,
we're not allowing you.
New goalkeeper. Everyone said that we're crap, so I've put us there. And I was told last season that Brentford are better than us, Brighton are better than us, Villa are better than us. So that's why I put us. Yeah, irrespective of whether Kane stays or goes, that's why I put us.
You got to think there's got to be a period of building with Ange in it. You know what I mean? We know where Patrick's trying to put them under the radar, so there's no pressure on these man or whatnot. But you don't worry, Patrick. Nobody expects anything of you anyway every year, so it doesn't really matter anyway.
There
you know
go.
What I mean,
there you go. See? There you go. I'm all good.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna give my team, and I think my top 8
premises.
is very different. My top 8. Big up Saeed in the cut, my brother.
Yeah. This is what we're gonna get to. We're gonna get to this. We'll
talk about that. We'll talk about that.
I heard some absolutely egregious.
We will talk about that. We will.
Well,
you thought Partey was the best DM in the league last season and then wanted to sell him 2 months ago. So I don't know what you're going on about.
I didn't.
Right, so I didn't. Did you want to sell him, Lee? What's going on here?
No.
I think Lee wasn't too bothered if they got rid of him, but he was having him ahead of Rodri and Casemiro last year. So things change, mate. On this
very channel, there's nowhere on this earth I would ever say anything crazy like that. I was never one of the ones. But anyway, we're not going to digress to me. We're going to keep the fact that what you said. But anyway, I want to hear what my brother Primsy says because I want to know where he puts Arsenal. So yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to keep it 110 and real as it goes. My heart, I want Arsenal to win the league in it. I think everybody knows that. But I'm just going with the team that how I think it's going to fall into play. I think City will win the league. I think Liverpool will come second. I think Arsenal will come
mad.
third.
You are absolutely mad.
Let him cook.
We'll get onto it. We'll get onto it. When it comes to the other combined, we'll give our reasons. And I think you have to hear me out.
James,
I think
Liverpool second,
first.
Yeah, Liverpool second.
Yeah. Arsenal third. United fourth. Newcastle fifth. Villa sixth. Tottenham seventh. And Chelsea eighth. That's my
fifth,
prediction.
Who was fifth? Sorry, Prems. Fifth. Who?
Newcastle, Villa, Tottenham,
and then Chelsea.
Eighth.
Yeah. So that's my team.
So who's have I got here? I think I've got Gunners, Premsies, and mine in front of me.
Bish, I need yours again. Say yours again, please, Bish.
Okay, so we've got City, Arsenal, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Villa, Newcastle.
City, Arsenal, Liverpool, United,
Chelsea, Tottenham, Villa, Newcastle.
Tottenham, Villa, Newcastle. And James, what's yours again, please?
Maguire, Shaw,
Sure, yeah.
I think I've got.
Like,
I think I've got
First,
James
second,
here.
third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, Liverpool minus. No.
He went City. He went City first, Arsenal second, United third, Chelsea fourth, Villa fifth, Liverpool sixth, Newcastle seventh, Spurs eighth.
Yeah, correct.
Is that right? That right, James?
City, Liv,
Yeah, correct. Mate.
United. Who was fourth on your one, James?
Chelsea.
Fifth,
Then
Villa.
Then
Sixth,
Liverpool.
Liv. Yeah, seventh,
Newcastle.
Then Spurs.
Okay, cool. I've got everyone's now. Cool.
Wicked.
Right. So look, let's do this now. We'll talk about the top spot and we'll give our reasons each why, and then we'll go to a vote. And there's 5 of us here.
To a consensus.
So hopefully, like Bish said, he can use them big words. What was that again, fam?
Try to come to a consensus.
That's what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? I know it's big for me.
Pause.
It's big for me.
Pause. Big pause. Big pause.
Yeah, pause.
Tranquilo.
So all of us on this panel so far have said Man City apart from Gooner.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Bish, why do you think City's going to win the league?
I was tempted to put Arsenal. It's a difficult one. I think before we bought Gvardiol, I was swaying a little bit in the Arsenal direction. Not so much necessarily based on the transfer market, but just based on the fact that I feel like Arsenal were so close last year. I think they're going to be hungry again. I don't think it was a one-off. I think they got to where they got to based on something that they're building and an infrastructure in the club and in the team. And I just thought that for us, there might be a little bit of a come down, even though I know Pep's a perfectionist. And if anyone's going to stop a come down, it would be Pep. It's hard to not have a come down after that kind of a season. But I just think that buying that Gvardiol, he looks like one of the best defenders in the world. And we already had the best defense in Europe. So that makes me feel a little bit like maybe we're just going to be indestructible again. So that's why I swayed in the direction of City. But I have been fluctuating. And I do think that it will be close again. I don't think it's going to be easy money for City by any means.
James, come to you second. Yeah, you said Manchester City as well. Do you think it's going to be the
I
same
did,
old story?
I think they will win it. I think it just comes down to when the expectation is on Man City, they deliver, and the expectation hasn't been on Arsenal for a while. This is the first time that they're going to have to deal with the fans actually expecting something. They were expecting maybe top 4 last season, and they pretty much were in a title race up until the 35th, 36th game. So it's very, very different when your fans are expectant and you're 0-0 at home after 70 minutes and people are getting a bit antsy and stuff like that. And I think that'll tell throughout the season. Obviously, I've still got them in second place. I think they'll have a good season. They've got a very good team and a better squad than they had last year. I just think when that expectation is on and when it comes down to it, City have a better chance of dealing with that pressure than Arsenal do.
Say no more. Well, before we come to Patrick, who's also City, let's get Gooner's thoughts, because obviously you saying Arsenal, you're backing the boys, confident after that Community Shield victory. What do you reckon is going to be different for us this year, man?
I just think, look, clutch time, there's one man that steps up and there's one man who normally gets injured in the final. And I'm hoping that hopefully that Gundogan is the one that's gone and De Bruyne gets another injury and he just doesn't turn up. And that's not me wishing injury in anyone. That's not me saying he's not a big game player, because he's fantastic, a GOAT of this, not Premier League, he's of world football ever. So he's a fantastic player. So yeah, that's my only thing. And I think there's somewhere along in this Man City universe where they need a winger. They need somebody who I think is he's just a little bit more direct. Now, look, in my head, I'm going to own up. I don't have to. When Cole Palmer came on, I thought we were going to win the game. And then he turned up and scored a great goal. So I don't know if it was a good piece of play.
No, he's not ready, though.
Yeah.
Especially losing Mahrez. Mahrez was the closest thing we had
the disparity,
to that.
That's the disparity between Cole Palmer and Mahrez, or even Sterling and all those other kind of ex-wingers that they had that were just quite direct. That's the only reason. I think the last thing is I just think Arsenal are going to have that fire in their belly. You saw the way Arteta celebrated that friendly yesterday.
Oh my God.
You know,
went crazy.
He was there, like, you know, trying to get players get yellow carded and stuff. So I just think he's going to drive this team in a real forward motion. And hopefully we're the first place to kind of take that small slip up for Man City, and that's it.
Yeah.
Say no more. Patty, you said Manchester City as well. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I just think Man City are just so good. I mean, they've won, 4 out of the last 5? And when you look at the dominance there, Pep Guardiola is still as hungry as ever. There's no rumours or murmurs that he's looking to leave. The team is set. They brought in Guardiola, like Bish has said. Defensively, they're solid. Offensively, they're mental. Even if they have a slight, they start the season slow, I feel they'd be a lot more in tune this year as well. I think they'd be hungry as well in Europe to show that it wasn't a one-off. And I think they know that Arsenal are the real deal this time around, and they take them seriously. So I just think they're just a level above everyone else, and they can turn it on whenever they want to. So I think for me, until I see someone push them all the way, which we have done with Arsenal and Liverpool, and they still come up trump. So for me, I just think, yeah, they're the real deal, man. Probably one of the best Premier League teams of all time. They might get Elise as well. We're talking about direct wingers. They're definitely in the market for a winger. It's not like they're just going to rest on their laurels. These guys always go again. So, yeah, I just think they're just too good, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. To be fair, the reason I'm going for Man City rather than Arsenal, I do think Arsenal are going to be challenging with the likes of Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
But the reason why I go for Man City, I think that 4P is going to be on Pep's mind. I think Pep Guardiola, for me, the best manager in world football. No matter what player he plays in, any position, he seems to get the best out of them. Coming off the back of a treble, yeah, it's going to be hard to keep the fire in the belly. But we've seen over the years, you've said 4 out of the last 5 Premier Leagues, you can see they don't have a problem with that. No matter what they win, they still keep going out there and they just turn out performances. We all know City have a slow start to the season. They always do it year in, year out. But when it comes to the vital part of the season, these guys turn it up and they really, really know how to get over the line. And when it comes to Arsenal, the reason why people might be surprised that I haven't put Arsenal first is because I'm worried that Arteta will keep playing Havertz. Now Jesus is out injured. I believe Jesus will be out injured for a lot further than what we actually think it is, because it's his same knee. Reoccurring problems can happen again. Say he's out for 2-3 weeks, he's going to have to get back to match fitness, which could easily be a month, 5 weeks. And I think that will cost us a little bit, because I still think we've left ourselves short in the attacking role of having another striker. Havertz, we've seen, yeah, he did some parts of the hold-up play and integrating with the team well and getting into space when we haven't got the ball. But when he had his opportunities and it means you need to go and put the ball in the back of the net, the old Havertz from Chelsea seem to pop up, in my honest opinion. I don't want to kill him off too much, but that's just how I seen it. And I think with Liverpool, I don't think Liverpool are going to be miles ahead of Arsenal. I think it's just going to be, we're going to be there and thereabouts for second and third. But I need to see how we deal with the pressure moving forward now. I think last season, there was no pressure on this Arsenal team. And I think that really helped us, because every single game, oh yeah, they're going to lose this. Every big game, they're going to lose this. Me, myself, Lee, other Arsenal content creators were always saying, yeah, well, you said this last week, but we passed this test. You said this the week before, but we passed this test. And I'm sure we can all recall saying that. But now having that pressure on your shoulders and that expectancy to go out there and win week in, week out, I just need to see how the boys actually deal with that, because over years and years and years, when we did have expectancy on our shoulders, even last season towards the back end of the season, we did fall off. So that's the reason why I'm going to go Man City first. So I think it's safe to say we're putting City on the top spot then, yeah? We pretty much all agreed on that. Right.
Yeah.
Second, now, this is where it's going to become... well, actually, I think I'm the only one who's probably... Me and Gunners are probably only thinking.
Gunner had City at first, but I'm guessing, Gunner, if you can't have City at first, then you've got Arsenal at second by default, have you?
Yeah, I've got to have Arsenal
If
second.
if you didn't have them at first, they would be second.
Yeah.
Okay, so Prem, did you want to start? Sorry to take over, but do you want to start with why you've got Liverpool second? Because you're the one that's got a different one in there, and I'd like to hear. I know James was a bit boggled by it, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Do you know what? I think we can't sleep on Jurgen Klopp. I think no matter what anyone says about Liverpool, whether you like them or you hate them, the one thing about them, they've got an absolute world-class manager in Jurgen Klopp. I think last season, everyone was surprised the drop-off they had. And I honestly believe that a big part of that was maybe Van Dijk not being at his best, and also the loss of Luis Diaz in their team as well. They signed Darwin Núñez. That was his first year in the team. Jota was in the team here and there. And we've seen how influential he's been in the Liverpool team over the years. This was the first season without Sadio Mane in there, so there was time for a bit of adjustment. And they had old legs in midfield as well. And I think this year, I think Liverpool are going to surprise a lot of people. There's not going to be a lot of expectation on them. You know what I mean? I think they're not going to be in the Champions League. So I don't think there is going to be. Well, you just said everyone here is pretty much not really put Liverpool anywhere near the top three.
No, that doesn't mean there's no expectation.
No, I've got them third.
But
I had them third, and I'm actually a bit more aligned with you, Prem. I almost thought about putting them second. The only reason I didn't is because I felt like that was disrespectful to Arsenal, given what Arsenal did this year. But I'm actually on the same page as you, bro. I think that I'll let you land anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to say I'm not that far off what you're saying. So land what you were saying anyway.
Yes. So basically, in the sense of a lot of things that I've been hearing from a lot of fans, I best believe I watch a lot of YouTube, watch a lot of football, and there don't seems to be that big pressure. Yeah, there's pressure on Klopp in the sense of if he doesn't get there, will they sack him or not? But I don't think other fans and pundits are expecting Liverpool to be within the top two.
Yeah.
I don't think they're expecting Liverpool to pull back the way that they kind of did towards the back end of the season. I think the younger, fresher legs in midfield that they've brought in will help them. I've been studying Szoboszlai for a long time as well, and I think he's a top-class player. I think he'll come in, he's suited to the Premier League, this stature and the way he plays football. I think McAllister coming from Brighton, you're getting a Premier League ready player, and he's decent. I think Van Dijk will become better than what he was. And also, I think Darwin Núñez will have a much better season than what he had. Luis Diaz back into that team, the brilliance of Jurgen Klopp. I think them being in the Europa League as well, they have the opportunity to field out a weakened side in that competition rather than being in the Champions League and having to play the strongest team in twice in the week. And I think that will come into their favour as well. So this is why I'm putting Liverpool second for me. That's why. I don't know what if you agree or you don't. Well, obviously most of you don't agree, but they're the points, and I think they're very valid points. To be honest with you, I think you can't sleep on Jurgen Klopp.
You see the problem that you've got though, Premsy, right? You are literally hoping that Liverpool have so many things go right when they went so wrong last year. So you're expecting Klopp to now make the right tactical decisions. You're expecting him to rotate the squad the way that he's never really done before. You're then asking Van Dijk to go back to a level where he was absolutely horrible last season. Now, again, he can do that, but we have to see it. So the same way how you're saying about Arsenal, we have to see Liverpool do these things. We have to see Konato. Can I ask him to play more than 2 games in a row before he gets injured? Can I ask Trent to actually just defend and not get a Klopp hug? No, he can't do it. Can I see them get a DM? Because they're playing against a team in, I believe, in Germany. I don't know if it's the second division, and they've conceded another goal. They're winning 2-1. So if I then look at the teams in the Premier League, I'm expecting them to give up more chances and concede more goals. Then I move to Salah. Listen, fantastic. He got 18 goals or whatever it was, 20 goals last season. But how meaningful were those goals? Can I ask you in the first half of the season to rise and step up? Can I ask Darwin Núñez to contribute a little bit more? So you're asking so many things for them to click and go right.
To be fair, that's a lot for every team, really. But it's all
but what I'm saying,
maybes. But when it comes to Liverpool, you got to look at the fact of the thing is this was the only season they've really fallen off through the experience that they've got in that team and the experience their manager's got, who has won this Premier League and who has won a Champions League. You've got to look with a little bit of a reasonable head and think, well, the key players getting added back into that squad for the likes of Luis Diaz, which is a big blow for them last season, who missed pretty much most of their season. That is definitely going to improve them. Darwin Núñez, like we've said, Darwin Núñez coming, he might not been hit the heights that Haaland hit, but he wasn't really poor. He scored goals, he assisted. You expect a player to be better in the second season, don't you? Because that's what we all say.
I'm saying to you, you're hoping and prophesizing that all of
I'm not hoping. I'm hoping Arsenal win the league. That's what I'm thinking.
The reason why I say you're hoping for your prediction to be correct is that you're needing 8 or 9 things to go right for Liverpool. Whereas when you look at Man City, they're such a well-oiled machine that everything kind of, you're not hoping and praying. You're not thinking, oh, I need Haaland to score these amounts, because he's going to pretty much, De Bruyne is going to step up. Foden's going to do well. Pep's always going to make these. So you're not You're not hoping on a prayer. We know Saka's going to have a really good season. What more or less? You're more leaning towards all of these things going really well for Arsenal. Kane's going to get at least 25 goals in the Premier. You don't have to hope and pray. Whereas I'm hoping, or like you're hoping that for your prediction, that Liverpool have all these things. And again, the trust factor that you mentioned for Arsenal, you're not putting that on Liverpool. So you're not talking about Van Dijk coming back. You're not talking about Trent to defend. You're not talking about Klopp. You talk about he's won 3 Premier Leagues. He's won 1 Premier League, and he's not been able to do that again. People talk about, oh, they almost got the quad, but why do you keep saying that? Just say you won 2 trophies. You didn't almost win the quad. You won 2 trophies. That's it. Just keep it moving. So that all I'm saying is, Liverpool. It's not an agenda. It's not like all it is. I'm looking at the bare facts. They don't keep their players fit. The manager doesn't make the right substitutions. The manager doesn't have the tactical nous because he's even been outdone by shitty old Arteta, apparently. And when I look at other points, I just keep looking and I'm like, there are so many things that I need Liverpool to do to kind of come back and gel as a full, complete team. And the other last point is, why do we not keep using... We talk about, when new players come into a squad, why do we not do that for Szoboszlai? Why do we not do that for McAllister? Like, why are we not going to do that for Lavia if they get him?
To be honest with you, just like we haven't done it with Declan Rice because McAllister's
no, but people
been
are
in the Premier League for a long
people
time.
Are doing that.
Yeah, but I can't control what
people are doing.
Say. I can only
Mason
control
Mount.
what I say and what I think.
Yeah,
and the reason why is going off evidence, Lee, over the last 6 years, rather than only the last year Liverpool fell off. But even then, these guys came back and finished 5th and could have easily made 4th if United slipped up here and there. Yeah, that just shows the character that Jurgen Klopp has instilled into that team.
Okay, do you know what? Do you want to talk about character?
Let me just finish off, bro. Let me finish, bro. Because then thingy. So this is why I can see a resurgence from them, because there's one thing, like you said, there's a lot of facts, but there's one thing that is facts, that Liverpool don't lose more than 3 games at home. The only thing they really need to correct is winning away from home. And with the likes of certain players coming back into their team, like Diaz, like Jota, like having the likes of Mo Salah, having fresh blood in their team, a good goalkeeper in Alisson, you expect them to get better results away from home. That's how I see it. And what you could say, Liverpool, other than Man City, had the best record at their ground last season, even finishing 5th. And that was a poor Van Dijk, a poor Konate, a poor Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Talk about me. If you talk about mentality, can I talk about the fact that they beat Man United 7-0 and then lost the next game against Nottingham Forest? What does that talk about their mentality? So however you want to like mention and spin it, I can do exactly the same thing.
No, I'm not spinning it. I'm just stating facts.
No, I'm just talking in
general.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I'd like to know, James, because I know you've put them way lower than all of us. Obviously, Guna's having his back and forth with Premsy, but Guna still had him in the top 4. You had him at 6th, sorry.
Same.
Why is it? I mean, you've clearly got the strongest. Is that just I hate Scousers, or is it actually a genuine footballing opinion?
No, it is a genuine footballing opinion, but obviously it's influenced by the I hate Scousers thing. I'm not gonna hide that, but it's based on where they are at the moment. If they go ahead and they sign Lavia and they sign a right back and Konate goes injury free and all the things that Premsy said happens, then they could quite easily finish in the top 4. But as of right now, they're conceding 1 goal today to a second-tier German team. They conceded 4 goals the other week to a second-tier German team. And yes, they are going to score loads of goals. Salah's going to score goals. But the problem is, it's never that Liverpool don't score goals. It's that they concede too many chances at the other end. And if you're going to go into a season with Curtis Jones as your DM, or Trent Alexander-Arnold as your DM, or Bajcetic as your DM, then you are going to concede goals. They've signed McAllister, who was dribbled past 5 times the other day. So their midfield is going to leak chances, and they will score plenty of goals. So that's not the issue, but they will concede plenty, and they will lose or draw many games because of that. And on the whole, but this is the only season that they've fallen off, so I expect them to come back. Let's think about that. Why have we all put Arsenal in 2nd and 3rd, and why haven't we put them in 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th? Because if we look at the past 6, 7 years, we should put Arsenal in 6th. Because that's their average position. But we don't. We use the most recent evidence that we have. The most recent evidence we have is that Arsenal were fantastic last season and they pushed City. So therefore, every one of us has them in 3rd, 2nd or 1st. Liverpool were fantastic for 5 years, but last season they fell off. the reasons that they fell off, I don't see them fixed. They fell off because they have a right back that can't defend, and they didn't have a CDM, or they had a CDM who had no legs in Fabinho. So they got ran through time and time again. They were fantastic at home, but their mentality was poor. Van Dijk, who was their best player, fell off. Kanate is now their best defender, because Robertson fell off a little bit as well. Van Dijk fell off, and Trent can't defend. So Kanate is their best defender. He can't play more than 2 or 3 games in a row. Alisson's their best and most consistent player. Alisson's a fantastic goalkeeper, but they've got severe problems in defence. You've got Kanate, who's their best defender, but Van Dijk's iffy. Matip is iffy. Who else have they got? Don't really know. Robertson's okay. Trent can't defend. You move into midfield. Szoboszlai looks really good. McAllister is an okay signing, I think. I think he's got his flaws, but he's decent. But I don't think he's a massive upgrade. They've got big problems at DM, and then their front three, their depth is fantastic. Got no issues with their front three. It's probably the best front three in the league, or the best squad depth for the front three in the league.
Yeah.
But in terms of unless they listen, if they sign Lavia and they sign a centre back or right back, then they will go back to third, probably fourth in my prediction, without a shadow of a doubt. But they're just not serious. They said that it was too much money for Thuram, so they pulled out. They put in 3 bids of 35, 42 and 45 million for Lavia when they know that they'll accept 50 million. 50 million, the deal's done, but they just seem to be trying to be penny pinching. There seems a war between Klopp and FSG. And as much as people in the chat want to say it, say stuff, the majority of the Liverpool fans, you look at, they're massively worried. Go and speak to Roms. They are massively worried about their team this season because they see the gaps that we see. We're not it's not a delusion. Liverpool have massive gaps in their team. They have 2 huge gaps, and until they fix them, they are very, very easy to play against for the majority of teams. And yes, they battered my team at Anfield last season, completely battered us, played us off the pitch. Mentally, we were really poor. But there's a lot of teams that went there, but had them at their place and played them off the park. Brighton, several times. Wolves in the cup.
James, do you not think Jurgen Klopp has a part to play, though? Do you not think he's
a world-class
manager?
He's an absolute world-class manager, but he was a world-class manager last season, Premsy, and they finished 8 points behind Man United and 4 points behind Newcastle. What's magically changed in the last 12 months that Jurgen Klopp's got his hunger back when he's been denied his major target in Jude Bellingham? He's been denied Vardiol. He's been denied Thuram. What makes you think that it's all happy behind the camp for Jurgen Klopp and that he's going to go again? He lasted 7 years at each of his previous clubs.
We're going to have to lock in our number 2
I just think, one second. I just think because he's such a high caliber of a manager, when you have such a poor season like that, you have the hunger and desire in order to push back on. And I understand what you're saying. In certain positions, they look weak, but sometimes class is permanent and form is temporary. I think that's something that we've always said as football fans. And going 2 seasons ago, Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk were the best things since sliced bread. And there's nothing. We're going off last season. That's the evidence that we got. But in my opinion, there's nothing that says these players can't turn it round. There's been many players at our clubs that haven't done well. We've seen Robin van Persie for years on the sideline. When he come on, hasn't hit the heights that he needed to hit. He came on and been absolutely unbelievable. Moved to United, won him the league. So these things can happen. And the reason why I'm giving Liverpool that little bit of a push, in my opinion, is because I think Klopp can get that back out of him.
But like Guna said, it's not like a Robin van Persie situation where you're relying on one player. You're relying on 9 things to happen simultaneously at the same time. And I just don't see that happening. I really don't. I think, listen, not every time it's not worked for a world-class manager do they fix it. Klopp had 7 years at Mainz, buggered off. Went tough at Dortmund, buggered off. So it's been tough for him before and he's buggered off. So he doesn't fix it every time. There are certain times where people... What's
the 9 things? What's the 9 things that need fixing? Because I can't remember saying 9 things.
Let's go through. Klopp needs to refine hunger.
My point is last season my point last season was them losing Mane, they had to deal with that. Them losing Diaz, they had to deal with that. Van Dijk, this was his first season back from a very big injury. He had to find his feet with that. Kanate had injury problems. They've had to deal with that. Playing in the Champions League and playing inside the Premier League, you can't really alternate much. You need to play your strongest team. They had old legs in midfield inside Fabinho and Henderson. That's something they've had to deal with. And players being off form. So that's them having to deal with it. Moving forward, my point with them is they have brought in reinforcements. They have got players back. And players just need to get back to form, really. in order
in
for them to
areas that
kind of.
I don't think they've addressed their major areas. I really don't. If you're telling me that McAllister and Soboslai were their two most important areas that they need to address, I disagree.
It's
And also
definitely
the
freshened up the midfield, though.
Thursday, Sunday is also much tougher than you make it out to be. Like you can say, oh, you can rotate and stuff, but still, people have to fly to Uzbekistan, wherever, and then come back and play on a Sunday. Like they literally, it takes its toll, and you're also playing catch up all the time.
True.
So if they have a slow start, and they're behind Arsenal and Liverpool and Man City and Spurs and whoever, then they have to play after all those teams because they're all going to be playing Tuesday or Wednesday and Saturday. So then they're a further 3 points behind. So I think all these stars have to align for Liverpool to finish second Prems. I think it's an absolutely wild shot. If they get Lavia and they do sign a defender, then
it's
fair enough. I think it's wild. Like you may think, most people are going to think sixth is wild, but as it stands at the moment, if they don't address problems, I don't like they're struggling against German League 2 teams.
So
yeah, but you haven't had a great pre-season yourself, have you?
What do you mean? We beat you. It's only a friendly when you lose to us, but when you win the Tin Plate Cup, it's the most serious thing since sliced bread.
Listen, we won more money than you did for the Carabao
You can't
Cup,
pick and choose. We won the Arsenal Cup.
Let's
seasons,
move on
2-0.
because we're 46 minutes in and we haven't even locked in number 2.
Let's lock number 2 in. And Pat, are you all right to go on number 3? Because we've had enough Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think the consensus has ended up being Arsenal because we had 3 of us have given Arsenal and Goon has gone past us.
Yeah, City, Arsenal.
So number 3 then. Go on, Goon. I mean, not Goon. Sorry, go on, Patrick. You've got them in front of you.
Well,
who did we all have?
I put Liverpool, funny enough, and you guys have just literally argued
and I
the
did
case.
as well.
Yeah, I just think, like Premsy's saying, Premsy's got them at second, but Liverpool, for me, definitely get back in the top 4. I feel people are underestimating, and they had a very bad season last year, but they're a team that have pretty much been top 4 for the last 5-6 seasons. Jurgen Klopp is a world-class manager, like you guys have alluded to. They've got bundles of goals in that team. You know, I mean, they're not going to be... I don't think they're going to be near City and Arsenal, if I'm being honest. I think City and Arsenal are a bridge ahead of everyone. But I think Liverpool are good value for third.
Can I ask you a question, Pat?
Yeah.
Because it looks like me and you that have got Liverpool at third and Prem's you had them at second. We've all kind of put them in that top 3 ahead of United versus Goons and James, who've both got United at number 3. What is it for you that you see United dropping a place? Because for Liverpool to get into that top 3, United have got to drop a position. So what is it that is it just us 3 getting better, or do you see a problem at United?
That's a good question. I think United, for me, are still almost like, I still don't know what United are going to turn up, because even throughout the season last year, there was times where certain fans were saying they were title challengers, then they would lose a couple games, then they would go on a run. Not you, James, but just in general, there was a lot of the fan base that were getting ahead of themselves. They went on a good cup run and deserved to win the FA, was it Carabao? Sorry, Carabao Cup. In moments they look good, in moments they look bad. I just don't know what United are going to turn up. You know, they've won games convincingly and got battered convincingly as well. So I'm still not sure on United. So that's why I put them there. But they deserve to be in the top 4 because on their day they are a good team. So it's a weird one. I'm still not sure about them, but they're good enough to be in the top 4, in my opinion.
That's a good shout. Gunnar or James, the one of you want to give the argument for United being third? It looks like it's going to be between Liverpool and United, I think, because Premsy had Liverpool second, me and Pat had Liverpool at third, and you two had United at third. So, I mean, I guess, James, you're the resident red. I don't know if you want to go first, but I would like to hear both your thoughts on why you think United will be third.
Yeah, like I said, we were 8 points ahead of Liverpool last season and 4 points ahead of Newcastle. And I look at Liverpool's transfer window and look at Liverpool and think, have they added not only 8 points to themselves, but 8 points more than the United are going to add? And I just think the answer is no, quite simply. I think that if you look at United last season, the majority of fans were complaining about 3 particular things. We had 3 leaks massively in the team. We had David De Gea, who was costing us chances, apparently, and people were saying he was a massive problem. We had Weghorst up front, who couldn't hit a barn door and scored no goals in the Premier League. And we had Christian Eriksen, who, after his injury, came back and he looked really, really lethargic in midfield. And if you look at the signings of Onana, Mason Mount and Rasmus Højlund, you would argue that they've tried to plug those 3 holes. Whether you think they're the right players to plug them or not remains to be seen. But United have gone about addressing the 3 areas they needed to address. If they do go on and sign an Amrabat or do go on and sign another centre-back as cover for Varane, then obviously it increases their chances even more. But I think that Man United have done more than enough to improve their points tally from last season. Finished on 75 last season. I think they've done more than enough just in the striking role, to be honest. Like, if Højlund gets 10, 15 goals, like, which would be a really good return for him, that's 15 more than Weghorst last season. And Ronaldo, I think, got 1 in the league, 1 or 2 in the league. Weghorst got none. So you've got to look at it and think that, have Man United improved? Yes, I think they have. I think Erik ten Hag's second season as well, he's going to have learned a lot about the Premier League. So I think that is going to come into it. I think that Liverpool are going to improve. I do. I think Fabinho and Henderson, I think they should have kept one of them until they got another DM in. But I think Szoboszlai's a good signing. McAllister is decent. But I don't think they've improved enough to overtake United. I really don't. I think United are improving, Liverpool are improving, but that gap's not getting any closer, in my opinion. And Yusuf's a Liverpool fan and claims that I hate everything Liverpool, and which I do, in fairness. I do hate everything Liverpool. There's no hiding there.
Yusuf included.
Yeah, but 15 goals in a Farmers League, like, it was his breakout season for Atalanta. Like, the last 18-year-old that we signed, or young striker we signed that scored 15 goals in 2 years, went by the name of Wayne Rooney, and he turned out okay. Yeah. So I wouldn't really worry about people's young, like.
And we had 2 teams from the Farmers
scoring.
League in the semis of the Champions League, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, and we signed another who was almost man of the match in the Champions League final as well. Like, he was decent against Man City. Like, I think
Italy, the Farmers
be
League.
careful calling it a Farmers League. Yeah, and it's a like Serie A is a defenders league. In fairness, it's not a strikers league. Like, it's really not. The whole Italian setup is around defence. That's why defenders like Chris Smalling and Darmian and Koulibaly can be there and all look superb. And why strikers a lot of the time go there to die, because, like, they're so defensively solid over there. So I think that's a bit harsh on Højlund. Listen, it's a gamble. It's a £60-odd million gamble for United. But if you look, the guy's 6'3". He's got a top speed quicker than Marcus Rashford. His movement's good. His energy's good. And he's definitely more clinical than Weghorst was. So I think it's a risk worth taking.
Yeah, and it sounds like Haaland.
Yeah, I'll start with their debates because they're both from Scandinavia and both start with H. And it's honestly, it's a nonsense. Yet when you sign Gvardiol, I don't see them comparing him to Van Dijk. It's a funny thing, that. Sky and their agendas, eh?
Sound looking like Van Dijk. Go on, Gunnar. What's your case for United?
I just think logic says, as a football team, you know, if you don't concede as many goals, then you normally can have a good basis just to win games, to win leagues even. So, and I think the biggest difference with Man United is their keeper. He's not going to throw the ball in the back of their net, basically, and he's going to allow them to do certain things which they weren't allowed to do last season.
You need to be careful with who your keeper is, lad. You need to be really careful.
Right, your keeper's getting kept on the line, fam.
Your keeper got chipped in the Europa League for you to get knocked out. Not some front-season friendly. You did it in sport. We've got bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish. Yeah.
I actually will be honest. I don't really think Man United are as good as they make out to be. I have to be honest. I do. I'm being honest. I think that Højlund.
They want one plate. They want one silver plate, and they're giving it the bigger.
No, listen.
What have you done? What have you done?
Oh
my God!
I'm just trying to be
honest. Go back to rapping outside the Emirates, honestly. Jeez.
I've always said, I've said it before, and I'll keep saying, I still do think Ten Hag is up for, you know, a little bit of review. I think the fact that he lost 4-0, 7-0. We're not talking about Arteta here. You know, we're not talking about a novice.
We're not talking about 8th, 5th in his first 3 seasons, are we? We're not talking about Arteta. There's levels, isn't there? There is levels. There's levels. We're not talking about Arteta.
Can we get?
You two are meant to be supporting each other.
I was going to say, we're going to have to get the vote in because I'm losing track of who thinks what now.
Listen.
Let's get the vote in. Let's get voting. Number 3.
I'll keep Man United.
Yeah, United. That's what I've got.
You're going United now, are you, Patrick? Because you had Liverpool originally, didn't you?
Oh, sorry. Apologies. Yeah, sorry. What am I talking about? Yeah, it's still Liverpool.
You've got Liverpool. Premsley, are you still going for Liverpool?
I'm going Liverpool.
United?
Yeah, I'm going Liverpool.
So it leaves me to decide. I actually put Liverpool, but I kind of feel like James has convinced me, so I'm going to sway and I'm going to go with United for 3rd, which means that I think my vote puts United at 3rd, and then puts Liverpool at 4th. So we've spoken about them top 4 now. We've got remaining outside of the. Are we all okay with that then? I mean, we're not all okay.
Yeah.
We didn't all agree, but as a consensus, we've got City, Arsenal, United, Liverpool currently. Outside
Cool.
that top four, for pretty much all of us, the rest of them teams was made up of some combination of Newcastle, Villa, Tottenham, and Chelsea. Do you want to just,
Yeah.
because we've run quite a bit of time, should we kind of talk each of us on just some thoughts across them
Yeah,
four
go
clubs?
ahead.
Do you want to hit it club by club? What do you want to do, Premsy?
What we'll do is, because we've got a few others to discuss as well,
Yeah.
we'll just literally give our vote for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. I'll start 1st.
Okay.
I'm going to go Newcastle.
You're going Newcastle.
Yeah,
You're the only one that's kept Newcastle that high, I think. Oh no, you had Newcastle.
No. I had Newcastle 5th as well, so I'm with friends there.
So you guys don't think there's going to be a drop off now that they're in Champions League football? Because me, Goons, and James all had them either 7th or 8th.
No, I think Eddie Howe's a good manager.
Yeah, there will be a drop off. I mean, they're dropping out of the top 4. They strengthened to a degree. I'm still not convinced with their signings, if I'm being honest. But 5th is obviously as a drop off. I don't know. You know what? To be fair, if I'm being honest, Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and even Brighton, and even Tottenham, if I'm being honest, I think any of those teams can finish anywhere. That's just the reality of it. There's not much in it. Like even Tottenham last year, as bad as we were, we only finished 2 points behind.
Tottenham at 5th.
Yeah, we only finished 2 points behind Brighton, which everyone was saying was amazing. I know there's a difference because Tottenham are considered a big club, Brighton aren't, but the gap between these teams is not big, in my opinion. So it just depends. I don't know.
Yo, that super chat is mad. You know?
I know, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Well,
Yo,
I'm not
thanks
even
for the
looking at the
super
comments.
chat, but allow it, fam.
Bro,
What
that
are you
is
talking
crazy,
about?
man.
You get me?
I
This
can't
must
even
be a
see it.
United fan.
Fucking hell.
Bro, that is
Guy
mad.
thought,
You
you know what? I'm spending £5 for that, you know. Fair
bro,
play.
that is madness,
Fair
bro.
play.
Pause.
We'll take your
Pause
fivers.
But
take
I
your
will
fivers,
listen.
yeah.
I will say, like, I think for Newcastle, the issue I've got with them is, listen, I really like Liverpool. I really do. I think he's such a quality signing. But I just, if you go by logic of what people are saying, if Arsenal have had the pressure on them this season, so will Newcastle. And if
100%.
if you're going to drop not Arsenal a level, then I have to drop Newcastle a level or 2. And I think they had some really good players last season, but players like Joe Linton, I'm sorry. Players like Miggy Almiron, I'm sorry. Players like what's the other guy, the Dan Burn, I'm sorry. You had a great season, fantastic, but it's not going to last. It isn't going to last, and I feel like the wheels may fall off. And if it does, it's not a problem because then they're so early in their cycle, so it doesn't matter. It's not like Eddie Howe deserves to be sacked if they finish 6th or 7th. Not really, no, because they're in a cycle, man. Like just like little, let's just let them grow, man. This is a team that was it 18 months ago battling relegation. Let's just let them come back to a certain point, and I think Champions League. Listen, they're going to be excited.
But would you not say though, Guna, dropping out of the top 4 is a drop off?
That's it.
No, it's not, because I feel like they're so early. They're not even meant to be in the Champions League this season. Let's give them time to get to a point where they're ready, and then we can start really talking about them, man. We didn't put this kind of real expectation on Man City when they first got all this money. They were in Europa League playing with Mika Richards doing backflips. So let's give them a little bit of time to actually grow as a club, because I remember them for the last 10 years being relegated, coming back, surviving relegation, and doing all these other things, man.
But to play devil's advocate, now that they are in the Champions League and they've got money, they are a scalp, and they won't get time. That's the reality of football, the cruel side of football. They're going to be a target. People will take them seriously. The smaller teams are going to play, or obviously 10 men behind the ball. The bigger teams are going to take them. I think they are. I've got them 5th. But again, when I keep talking myself and hearing you guys, I might even drop them lower than that, because...
Do you know what though, Patty? Before you drop them lower, look, people are talking about the Champions League, but if you actually look at that Newcastle team, there's a bag full of experienced players that have played in that Champions League before, and I think that will help them. And they've... but if they get knocked out of the Champions League in the group stages, then you got to look at the Premier League. They've still got a good way to go in the Premier League without having to play Champions League football. They have holstered the team a little bit with Tonali, Livramento, what's his name, fucking Harvey Barnes as well. And you got to look at Isaac as well. I think it's safe to say that he is a decent player, and we've seen glimpses of brilliance at him. And I honestly think that now he's a year into the Premier League, you probably see better. I agree with Lee as well. I don't think Yo Linton will be the same player, and I don't think Almiron will be the same player. But I think them bringing in Harvey Barnes, that will help neutralise that a little bit as well. And I think Eddie Howe as well, I don't think he's just going to be one of them people that are just going to be a one-season wonder. I think when he was with Bournemouth as well, you're seeing good stuff from Bournemouth. And I think Newcastle now, the pressure on them, yeah, it might be a case where they might not be able to deal with it. But I still think their team is better than the likes of a Tottenham now and Aston Villa now and a Chelsea. I think Villa are a very good shout.
I think you're massively sleeping on Chelsea. Massively.
No,
and
Kunku's
injured. He's injured. He's injured. And Kunku's injured.
I know he's injured, but I think Jackson looks good. I think Pochettino's a good manager. I think realistically, Caicedo didn't play or whatever, so I think they're going to get Caicedo for 100 million. I think they're going to throw money at that.
Not too bad. This comment's not too bad. Keep it respectful. You know what I mean, boys?
I'm absolutely fine. Like, Klopp's been a fantastic manager for Liverpool. I didn't like seeing them win stuff, but I can go off recent evidence. Recent evidence suggests that last season Manchester United were a better team than Liverpool. That's it. It's not salty. It's literally a fact. Go and look at the Premier League table. It had us on 75 and you on 67. Had you finished it in 5th and us in 3rd? Like, it's not salty. You haven't improved as much as you think you have. And we've improved a little bit. So I think the gap's still there. But on Chelsea, I think they're not playing midweek football. They've got a huge squad. I think some of their players are going to settle in a little bit better. I think the Caicedo signing is going to be massive. I think they've got loads of creativity in the team that should be able to create chances for Jackson. Yes, and Kunku is injured. We'll see how serious that is. But they've been scoring goals in pre-season. I do rate Poch as a manager. And I think, realistically, I think they could get in the top 4. I really do.
I don't know. If you thought I was waffling about Liverpool, then fucking hell, James, you need to give your head a wobble, man, because these just Chelsea team, yeah, these ain't no, these ain't doing nothing, bro. So I'll tell you why.
Do you think it's dead? What areas of the team?
I'll tell you why I think they're dead. I think they're dead because Pochettino, yeah, he's a good manager, but he needs time to know and understand the players that he's going to be working with, which is understandable. You're going to need time. I don't think they know their best 11 just yet. I think they've got a lot of injury problems and they've got players like Reece James, who's a vital part of their team, that's injured all the time. And if you go look back over his period of him playing in the Chelsea team, is injured. Chilwell's injured often. And Kuku's now injured, who I believe would have come in and had the biggest impact on that team. If you look at their strikers, they're going for young strikers who are not proven. And the Premier League is, like you're touching on Højlund, he's been one of the guys with a lot of potential, probably a lot more potential than these guys that are being brought in at Chelsea. Fofana's just been injured as well, who's out for the season with his knee, and he's probably one of their best centre-backs, if not their best centre-back. Is not going to be that plain sailing. And I think there's a lot of teams around Chelsea that are going to be improved, going to be good. If you look, this is us throwing Brighton under the bus as well. They've not let go of Caicedo yet. There's a good chance they'll still be in the team and Chelsea won't have him. And I just can't see Chelsea. I'm not saying I've got them in the top 8. I've got them in 8th. And I think from 13th to 8th, that's an improvement for them. I just think other teams like Aston Villa with Unai Emery, who's now understands his team, has added that quality, would be above them. I think Newcastle have a better team than him, better manager. They're further along their progression. I also think Tottenham under Ange, yeah, they're going to have a bit of a build-up, but with Harry Kane in their team, they'll also be above him as well. And to be fair, that's how I see it with obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but that's just how I see it with Chelsea.
I think on their striker thing, though, I think a young striker might be exactly what they need. I think every time they've gone for a proven striker in a Torres or a Shevchenko or a Lukaku or something else, it hasn't worked. So I think that may be exactly what they need. They need someone that doesn't have a whole heap of pressure, that doesn't come with a massive reputation and is just allowed to play. I genuinely, like, yes, they are obviously at risk of injuries and stuff. And yes, their centre-back is probably, coming up for his pension sometime soon. So there are issues in their team. But I think they've got a very good manager. They've scored plenty of goals in pre-season. They have good results in pre-season. They only have to play once a week. They can work on the tactics for the following game all week. Poch is a very good and astute manager, so he is going to be able to prepare his team for that whole week. I'll be very, very shocked if they don't finish in like the top 6. Very shocked.
What's happened to Kuku, by the way? Just I keep seeing he's injured. What's happened to him? Does anyone know?
I don't know, but I've heard he's
Someone in the chat said a couple of months.
3 months he's out for. Well, he's a big blow to them, man. Trust me.
That's a massive blow. That's a big blow.
Fofana was a big blow to him as well, man.
Yeah, that's unlucky. That's really unlucky.
He's big. But look, let's get him down then. Let's have a vote because obviously I think Bisham has probably had some technical issues with his phone, as we all know what's happened to his laptop coming to Manchester. So it's been on a mad thing. So we've got City, Arsenal, Man U, Liverpool. I'm going with Newcastle. Patty, you going with?
What, this is for fourth or fifth? Sorry,
fifth.
Yeah, I've got Newcastle fifth anyway, so that's good with me.
James.
Well, it was Chelsea. It would have been Chelsea for me because I had them in fourth. But yeah.
And Guna?
Nah, I'm gonna go Newcastle because of the Nkunku thing. I think him being out, just you lose so much dynamism.
Say no more. So that's fifth. Let's go for sixth. Who are we gonna have in for sixth? I'm gonna go for Aston Villa.
I'll back you on that. Actually, I'll go Villa. I think that again, another team that you might be sleeping on. I think Emery came in last season and his debut game was against Man United at Villa Park. They beat us 3-1, and I think ever since then they've been really good. They've made good additions in the transfer window. He's got them playing really good football. They look like a really good team. They just signed Diaby as well. Like I think they're one to watch out for. I think Emery's a very, very good underrated
Tielemans
coach,
on a free. They got
Tielemans on a free. Yeah, listen, they've got a good squad now. They're building a squad, and I think they're going to cause teams a lot of problems. I think they're organised. They've got Ollie Watkins up front, who I think is a really good striker. To be fair, I know some people don't really rate him, but I think he's a good young talent.
I think he's
I think he's a good young talent. Got lots to his game, and I think they're going to do bits. So yeah, it would be between Chelsea and Villa for me. I'll go Villa.
Patrick,
6 Chelsea because I had them 6. So yeah, I had Chelsea 6, Villa 7th. So it's tight anyway. Either way.
Do you know how you going for 6?
I mean, I had Spurs 5th originally. I think Spurs. You talk about slept on. I think Spurs are being really slept on. Really slept on. I think they've got so much going well for them. People just ain't seeing it. And as I said, people get blinded by names all the time. But if that's who the manager wants, as I said, I can't do the whole Arsenal thing when we've got certain players and no one rated them. And when Spurs do it, I'm gonna just not look at them and put a blind eye to them. I think they've got something cooking over there. And as I said, if they keep Kane, I wouldn't even be surprised if they get top 4. I really won't. I think they've got a lot in a positive light. But for the purpose of this, because everyone kind of put Newcastle 5th, Spurs have to go 6th. I think we have to see what Aston Villa can do throughout the season. I think we have to remember Spurs are a Champions League club, and that one season that they've had out, which will be this season, let's not forget what they can do. They do carry a threat. They do, and I think the likes of Basuma, he's going to come back into the team now, raise the level. They've got a winner in their team in Ndembele. He doesn't have to play all the time, but he can play the last half an hour because he's got to take the pump for the first 60 minutes. So he's got to do that. And then
do you think defensively though, Guna, that they've sorted that problem out because they conceded a lot of goals last season and they don't really look like they've got anyone in?
The joke of it is, so did Liverpool. So if that's the case, then I think Spurs can find a way. The manager can set them up to find a way. I think Basuma will add a bit of the solidity in the midfield. I think
that Mickey van der Ven guy looks good though. To be fair, we bought him.
Nah, I'm not happy.
Nah, he is decent. If you talk about names, I'm not bigging him up and saying he's a well beater, but he's young. He's looked very good in the stuff I've seen him in the Bundesliga. The quickest defender there, very good recovery pace. He is raw, but he reminds me of a young Jan Vertonghen, but just a lot quicker.
And the maddest thing is, Liverpool conceded 4 more goals than Arsenal. They conceded 47 goals, and Tottenham conceded 63. So they're not really. I don't think that comparison's right. I think Tottenham really needs it out of the whole top 6, top 8. Tottenham conceded the most amount of goals.
Yeah, so we still need another centre back, but we've already got one, and we still need another top one.
I just think that they've got a little bit more about them. They got Igoji, the left back. They've got Poro.
They've got Harry Kane, Son. One bad season.
Madison now as well. Yeah,
Madison. Everyone's forgetting Madison. He looked really good yesterday.
Yeah, Madison's going to be good. Yeah.
So I'm saying that's what I'm saying. You look at their front 6. It's not bad. It ain't bad.
I'm still going Villa though. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this season. I think they're just on a good trajectory at the moment.
Do you not just think that? I mean, this is just me playing devil's advocate. Teams like Villa, Brighton, Newcastle, they all got European football. Do you not think that's going to have some sort of impact on their seasons? These are all teams that didn't have to play Europe. Where you're looking at Chelsea, Spurs, they don't have European football issues. So that is also something that
it could do, but we finished 8th and then we finished 8th again. So sometimes it doesn't always work that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I think it could potentially be that case, but I don't know what it is. I think
you're a team that's always used to play in European football. These guys aren't. That's the difference. Arsenal have always played some sort of midweek football. There's never been a time where you've not been in Europe. These guys are teams that have never been in Europe and now
I do hear what you're saying. I do hear that. I think that's a very valid point. I think it's a very good point as well, which could come into play. The only reason why I'm just edging for Villa, because you can't deny that Unai Emery is a top quality manager. It might have not worked out for him as how people hoped it to be at Arsenal, but I'm telling you now, I personally believe they'll win the Conference League, whatever the competition's called, because he's a proven winner in Europe. Yeah. And also, I'm going with Villa in it. So, James, are you sticking with Villa? Because then we're going to throw Villa in there. Or are you going with Tottenham? Because he got 3. Then it'll be 3 Tottenham. At the moment, it's 2 Tottenham, ain't it?
Just for that Chelsea, reason, then, mate. Yeah, but for that reason, I'll change my vote to Spurs. I think it's the Harry Kane effect. I think they'll keep him, and yeah, I'll change it to Spurs now.
Patrick, are you changing to Spurs from Chelsea? Or are you sticking with Chelsea?
No, I'm sticking with Chelsea. My list.
So we've all gone someone different. How the fuck's this going to
work? Me and Gunnar have got Spurs, haven't we?
Yeah, I got Spurs.
Oh yeah, go on then. We'll put Spurs in. Put Spurs in.
So where's that
Patrick, the Spurs fan, had Spurs in 10th, but we've somehow come to agree that they're 6th. Yeah.
Oh. Karma.
Right, 7th and 8th. Yeah, there's only 2 teams left: Chelsea and Villa. And obviously, I want to push this on now, so we've got our complete team. I'm going Villa.
Yeah, Villa above Chelsea, definitely. The way things
obviously,
are going.
James must think Chelsea.
I do, yeah, I do. But like, listen, the Nkunku thing may sway it for people, so fair enough.
It's tight though, man. It's tight.
Right, I'm going Villa and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm not having it with these post-Roman bums. I fucking hate Chelsea, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you know what I was going to say as well. For the bare fact that I actually...
Brems, read that out, please, once you get it.
Despise Lewis online. He's such a troll. I'm putting Chelsea as low as possible.
Yeah, fuck Chelsea.
So
I'm telling you.
Who we got, Brems?
Right. So Premier League unpacked top 8 is Man City first, Arsenal second, Manchester United third, Liverpool 4th, Newcastle 5th, Spurs 6th, Villa 7th, and Chelsea 8th.
Fair enough. You know what? That is pretty. That looks. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not bad, to be fair.
It's not bad. Right, look, we've gone over an hour. I just want to wrap up a few more things before we shut it off, bro, because this is it's gonna be here till 12 o'clock at night. I'm telling you, fam, it's a mad thing. It's a mad thing. This is what happens when you got man with good personalities on the show. You know what I mean? It could go on forever. And you know what they say? Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
But relegation now, not so fun. You get me, teams are looking to get chopped. I just want to get everyone's relegation-free teams. I'm going with straight away Luton, Sheffield United, and Nottingham Forest. They're the 3 teams that I think is going down.
Okay.
Patty?
I went Luton 20th, definitely rock bottom. Sheffield United 19th. And 18th is either Wolves or West Ham. The way West Ham are struggling at the moment to get players in, they've lost a lot of their key players. Samaka's gone, Rice has gone. David Moyes is beefing with the board, can't get any signings in. I think they could be in trouble. And Wolves are also struggling as well. I don't think it will be Nottingham Forest. I think they're going to be, they're going to be all right. If I have to go for one, I'll go West Ham. So West Ham, Sheffield United, Luton.
Say no more, James.
Yeah, I think like everyone else, I'm going Sheffield United and Luton. I think they'll definitely go down. And then 2 different ones actually for the last spot. I'm torn between Wolves and Everton. I really think it could finally be the year that Everton go down. I just don't see them strengthening massively. I know they brought in Ashley Young, but I think there's only so many times you can dance with the devil and not get burned. And literally, they must have sold their soul, honestly, because every season they seem to find a way to get out. They just do. But and Wolves, obviously, is Lopetegui going to be there or not? I don't know. Neves is gone. Jimenez is gone. I think they're going to struggle as well. So I will go Sheffield United, Luton, and Everton.
All of that spiel on Wolves, are you not putting him in the bottom 3? Fucking hell, James.
Just stay up.
Good league, well done for winning a dinner plate, lad. That's what the man them are saying out here. Go on, give us your 3, Guna.
I'm gonna say Wolves 17th. I'm gonna say Luton for sure. And I'm also, do you know what? There's something about me that wants to put. Who was the other team that got promoted?
Sheffield United.
Burnley.
Oh, Burnley.
Yeah,
Burnley.
No, I'm gonna go Sheffield United. I'll go Sheffield United 19th, sorry. And then I'm not 17th. I'll go Wolves 18th, sorry, apologies.
Well, say no more. So it's quite a bit of a mix. I think what we've all pretty much gathered is we think Luton and Sheffield United are going down in it. Let me get this super chat in from Zayn Miasi. Big up yourself, bro. It's good to see you in the place. Big up Gunnar Lee fighting for our club. We are death fave after outplaying City. Well, that's what it is, isn't it? I'm telling you. But you know what? It's good to have that optimism. I'm not going to lie. As an Arsenal fan, I've got PTSD, you get me? And it's one of them situations where I just need to see it to believe it, you get me? And then I'm going to go wild, you get me, bro? I'll start smashing my head through windows and that, bro.
This is the first season I can honestly say, though, I don't feel like it's pure optimism. I feel like we have actually got a puncher's chance.
There's a reason, There's a reason for you.
And that's where I feel like there's a difference between last year or the year before, any other year. It's praying to get top four. There's no guarantee. Whereas last season there was we're getting top four. But I believe we're getting top four. So
no, you know what? I honestly believe it as well. I think we will definitely challenge. It's just for me, I think Man City are just they're a top side, and I think it's undeniable. I think that 4P as well, something that Manchester United haven't done. They're going to be dying to do that, and I think that's going to fuel their fire a little bit more. And I think we will come close, just like I say with Liverpool. I think we will come close. I'm not saying we're going to be falling miles apart. I just personally believe we'll have a better chance of doing well in the Champions League because it's new to us again after 6 years. Teams don't really know Arsenal. They haven't played Arsenal over the years, and it will be a bit of a surprise for a lot of people. So I honestly believe we'll have a good run in the Champions League. I think Premier League, we're going to be up there, definitely. But for guarantee, I can't really say if we'll win it or not. I hope and pray every day we do. But it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Quickly, let's move on to top scorer. I don't know if this is easy for everyone, but it's Haaland for me, in my honest opinion. Patrick, you going with Kane? Or
I went with Kane because he was only 6 off him, and Postecoglou plays a much more attacking branded of football. Create a lot of chances, have a lot more of the ball. So yeah, Kane for me.
Oh, come on, Zayn. This is wild. This is absolutely wild, man. I'm telling you.
I can't lie. I think I agree.
Oh, Hoyland. I thought you meant Haaland.
Yeah.
I take that back.
This is what I mean. This is what.
Yeah, you know what? Potentially. Go on, James. Who are you going with?
I'm going with Harry Kane for all the reasons that Pat said. I think the link up with Maddison, the attacking ideas of Postecoglou. I think he'll score loads of goals. Penalty taker, obviously, free kick taker, everything. Right foot, left foot, headers. I think Harry Kane's superb. I think he guarantees you 20-25, and he's probably likely, if he stays injury free, which he should do, no reason why not, to get 30 goals again. I think he's phenomenal.
Say no more, Gunnar. You know what? It's a good shout as well, having that record coming to an ear as well. Probably give him an extra ascendancy. I just think the Man City team, the amount of chances they create, clear-cut chances, I just think Haaland. Gunnar?
I'm not saying Harry Kane because I hate him. So
at least you're honest.
See, this is the Gunnar that man knows. You get me? Where are you, fam?
No. I'm not saying that. I don't know about you, man, but I can't say that. I can't say that. So yeah, I'll say Haaland.
Shameless.
So shameless. Shameless.
I can't stand. Listen, I'm not. Nah. And remember, I put Spurs 5th. I didn't put them in the top 4.
Nah, it's only fair, innit? It's only fair. Golden Glove. I'm going with Alisson. I think outstanding goalkeeper. He came second last year, and I think I think Liverpool are going to be better side, and I think it's going to be Alisson.
Premsy, you and I think alike. I've got him for the Golden Glove as well. Liverpool were and he was
with
close.
their defense.
Yeah, like they're going to be better this year. I've got them in the top 4. He's the best keeper in the league by a country mile.
I agree with.
It makes sense. I've got him as the Golden Glove as well. I agree with Premsy.
Wow.
Everything. Yeah, straight.
Wow.
It's mad though, James, because they only conceded 4 more goals than you last season.
Yeah, like they're not as bad as people are making them
Yeah,
out
but
to
we conceded 7 and 4 and 4, so it was like it
Yeah,
happened
but you
quite a
still
lot. Whereas
fucking
Liverpool just
conceded, innit? Do you know
yeah,
what
I
I
know, but
mean?
Liverpool concede game after game. So like, I think it's a common problem. I think United collapsed in games. I think they're much better defensively. They collapsed in like 3 games, whereas I think Liverpool you can get at them easily every game.
James, who you got for Golden Glove? Who you got?
I've got a mixture, like depending on
Oh,
who they
come
sign.
on.
Depending on who they sign. I've got Ramsdale or David Raya. If they sign David Raya, I'll pick David Raya. But I've got Aaron Ramsdale. I think their back 5 is probably arguably
It's a
now
good
the
shout.
best.
Ramsdale's
I
a
think
good
it's the
shout
best
as
in the
well.
league. It's not just who's the best keeper because I don't rate Ramsdale as high as other keepers, but you've got to look at the Saliba, Timber, Ben
What I
White,
mean,
like
James
Gabriel.
can't give too much credit, can he? He gives you a bit and takes a bit back, innit? Fucking
Oh
hell.
yeah, Ramsdale. Who the fuck is he? I'm not. Listen, you think I'm going to pick up other men's teams all the time? You got the wrong man on your show. Like, if you want someone to twerk for your team, get Saeed on. Like, I don't twerk for anyone, mate. Like, I do not twerk for opposition team.
Saeed, I hope you're in
Liverpool
the
can fuck
comments.
off.
I
Arsenal can
hope you're
fly.
in the
Honestly,
comments.
Man United all the way. No,
we like
Raya
the
or
realness, man.
Ramsdale,
We like it.
whoever Arsenal's goalkeeper is.
Yeah,
Say
fair
no
enough.
more, Guna.
I've got to say Edison. You've got guard. They've got they've got the new centre back. They've got Laporte. They've got Diaz. They've
Diaz.
got Walcott. They've got Rodri. I just can't see. They're tall. They're strong. I can't see anything but Edison.
Say no more. Let's get these last 2 in from Zayn Miasi saying that Arsenal should go in for Tony in January. I totally agree. I think
Great
Tony is
shout.
unbelievable.
Great shout.
And we need a plan B. We definitely need a plan B.
Mhm.
And also, James, you must be worried for trip to Emirates.
Never
Why
mind.
would he? He's got Luke
Actually,
Shaw.
it's
Why
coming
would he?
earlier than I would like it, but it's because Hoyland's not going to be playing, so we'll likely be playing Rashford up top and Garnacho left, Anthony right. So I'd rather
Luke Shaw left back.
Luke Shaw. Like I like my
Harry
thoughts
Maguire
on Luke.
centre back.
Bukayo Saka versus Luke Shaw is like Bukayo Saka is like Luke Shaw's kryptonite. I will admit that. Like, he can't play against him. But so that's probably why you have that opinion of Luke Shaw. Watch Luke Shaw week in, week out against everyone else, and you'll see what I mean.
He's already got the excuses, Zane, for the Emirates. Good super chat, that, bro. Good super chat. But look, last one before we wrap it up. Who's going to be the manager of the year? And that doesn't mean just because they win the league. Who do you think is going to be just in general the best manager, surprisingly, or who you expect? I've got 2. I know it sounds crazy, but I think Vincent Kompany might be up there. I think he'll keep Burnley in the league, and I think he might do very good for them. Normally, we do tend to see a team that does come up do very well, except for last year. I think Vincent Kompany could be that guy. And also, I say Unai Emery. And the reason I say Emery, I think he'll win that European competition that he's in because his stature in winning European competition, especially the lower ones, is very high. And I honestly believe that they'll be within the top 6, definitely. And I think that's a good achievement for them. Patty?
I went with Pep, hands down. I think he's going to, do the 4. Is it a 4-peat now? Whatever it is, it's close. And I just think he's the best manager. I like you. I had Vincent Kompany as a surprise package, and I also think De Zerbi, if things go the right way, he could also be another contender. But I think Pep is just, he's just insane. And every year he tweaks his system slightly and still manages to pull it off. So I went with Pep.
James?
Just on the Vincent Kompany thing, because I actually, before we drew them in the cup last year, Burnley, and they ran away with the championship. They scored like 100 goals or something, played outrageously good football. So when they were coming to us, everyone was like, "Oh, watch out, Burnley will play amazing," and I was expecting them to be really good. And they actually didn't create anything. They sat back at Old Trafford and they didn't create anything. And I was really disappointed with them. So if Kompany can bring that championship style football to the Premier League and implement it, then yeah. But I'm a bit worried he won't. But I'm with you. I went for Unai Emery.
Say no more. I think Unai Emery is a good shout. Guna?
It's got to be only one man. He knows what to do for us, man. He knows to lead us to the promised land. So.
Oh my God, there it
One
is.
sec, I want to see this. Who do you want to bet? Because I don't understand who you want to bet about. What, you get me? So just drop in the comments who you want to make a bet with, and we'll see if that person wants to make a bet with you, fam. Because I don't know if you're a Liverpool fan, Arsenal fan. I'm not too sure. So quickly before we wrap it up, throw it in the comments. and I'll put that question forward. But look, guys, it's been emotional. I think it's been entertaining, to say the least. I think we're going to have a very good season coming forward, even though we've all got opinions and predictions. Predictions are them 9 out of 10. They're always wrong anyway, I'll be honest with you. So we're going to have to wait. And any one of us, he said, any one of us, he's a Liverpool fan. Well, to be fair, I've got Liverpool above Arsenal anyway. So any of you that have got Liverpool,
What's
Arsenal
the, sorry,
above Liverpool.
what is the bet? Sorry.
I'll
he's
quite happily have Liverpool and United if you want, mate. If you want to DM Prems or whatever, I'll have Liverpool or United. Do like 50 quid to a charity, whoever finishes higher. I'll do that, no problem.
Oh, what? Arsenal, Liverpool finishing above Arsenal? Is that what you
No,
said?
Liverpool United. So I'll have United. He can have
Liverpool
Liverpool.
United.
I'll do that, no problem.
There we go, Slick H. Jay's just
there you go, back.
No problem.
Jay's just put 2 teams in there above you as well. He
Yeah,
fucking
well,
hates Liverpool.
Slick, I had you lot above United anyway, so I don't know what's the problem. I had Liverpool third, United fourth.
This. I guarantee you, this question's for James. I'm telling you now. You get me? The way
Yeah,
James
there
is
you go.
thinking
James,
of
I
Liverpool.
said it.
Easy, let's
You
go.
get me?
Fine.
James or Gooner Lee, you get me? These two
Yeah.
men have been having it for Liverpool. But people, we have come to the end of the show. I just want to say big up to the panel. Honestly, it's been great. It's been proper enjoyable. The chat as well. Thank you everyone for the super chats. I appreciate it. Thank you for everyone getting involved. We will be back next week, and there will be, well, to be fair, we might have to arrange it because there's going to be football on. I think
We're playing on Monday. We're playing on Monday.
Oh yeah, we'll be back. That shit anyway. So
I'll tune in live from Old Trafford. Yeah, let's go.
Say no more. But people, peace and love. Make sure you go and subscribe to all the Mandem's channel. It's in the description below. Smash a like on this video and subscribe here as well. Check yous in a bit.